So I'm going to be reading Rehoboam made king. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel had gone to Shechem to make him king. So it happened when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, heard he was still in Egypt, for he had fled from the presence of King Solomon and had been dwelling in Egypt. And they sent and called him. Then Jeroboam and the whole assembly of Israel came and spoke to Rehoboam, saying, Your father made your yoke heavy. Now, therefore, lighten the burdensome service of your father and his heavy yoke which he put on us, and we will serve you. So, what will you do? Okay? So he said to them, Depart for 3 days, then come back to me. And the people departed. Then King Rehoboam consulted the elders who stood before his father Solomon while he still lived. And he said, How do you advise me to answer these people? So that's a smart decision, okay? And they spoke to him, saying, If you will be a servant to those people today, and serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be your servants forever. So they're like, treat them good, they're going to work for you. Okay, I have an example of this. When I worked at Cold Stone Creamery, I had a couple managers that, I'm sorry if you hear this, one of them was a good manager. A good person, just not a good manager. The other one was a horrible manager, not a good person. You never knew what kind of person he was going to come in that day. My favorite manager, besides a woman named Sandy, if you're listening, Sandy, you're awesome, was Sonia. And hopefully you're listening, Sonia, but she would come over, and say, what do you need? So half the time I was by myself until the next person came in. So I would have a line, and the lobby needed to be attended to. I couldn't be everywhere at once. Ice cream needed to be made. Okay. So I'm handling this long line of customers. Okay. Get them done first, right? And so she comes up, she goes, what do you need? And sometimes I'd tell her, I need you to get back here and help me. And she'd come back here, boom, elbows to the grindstone, and just help scoop ice cream and get these people out. And other times, if the lobby was a mess, I'd say, can you please get the lobby for me while I get these people? She was the only one that if she called me and said, can you come in on your off day, I would do it. Because I knew she would bust her hump to help me. And I thought, man, if she asks me, I will help her. So any other manager asked me, I'd say, nope, sorry, I'm busy today doing something. But so they got wise to it, and they would always have her call me because they knew I wasn't going to tell her no. How can I tell her no? She busts her hump. So, that's the kind of leader you want to be, okay? So, but he rejected the advice which the elders had given him. Not a good idea. And consulted the young men who had grown up with him. They're not going to be as wise. They're not going to have as many years behind them. Who stood before him. And he said to them, what advice do you give? How should we answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, lighten the yoke which your father put on us? The young men who grown up with him spoke to him, saying, then you should speak up to this people who have spoken to you, saying, your father made our yoke heavy, but you made it lighter on us. Thus you should say to them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's waist. It's like, here we go. The ego. Young men have ego. And now, whereas my father put a heavy yoke on you, I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scourges. So he's like, I'll be worse than my father. What the heck? Why would you want to do that? Okay. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day, as the king had directed, saying, come back to me the 3rd day. Then the king answered the people roughly and rejected the advice which the elders had given him. And he spoke to them according to the advice of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, but I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but will chastise you with scourges. So the king did not listen to the people, for the turn of events was from the Lord, that he might fulfill his word, which the Lord spoken by Ahijah the Shilonite to Jeroboam the son of Nebat. And when all Israel saw that the king did not listen to them, the people answered the king, saying, What share have we in David? We have no inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to your own house, O David. So Israel departed to their tents, for Rehoboam reigned over the children of Israel who dwelt in the cities of Judah. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was in charge of the revenue, but all Israel stoned him with stones, and he died. Dang. Therefore, King Rehoboam mounted his chariot in haste to flee to Jerusalem. He's like, I'm out. Okay? So Israel had been in rebellion against the house of David to this day. So, remember how David lived? He caused that rebellion. His son didn't help that. Now it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam had come back, they sent for him, called him to the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none who followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. And when Rehoboam came to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men who were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, that he might restore the kingdom to Rehoboam the son of Solomon. So he's like, I'm going to restore this. I'm going to drink. Hold tight. Whoops. Okay. Repair. Okay. But the word of God came to Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, to all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the rest of the people, saying, Thus says the Lord, You shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Let every man return to his house, for this thing is from me. Therefore they obeyed the word of the Lord and turned back according to the word of the Lord. So they're like, okay, so God's sending this. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the mountains of Ephraim and dwelt there. Also he went out from there and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now the kingdom may return to the house of David. If these people go up offer sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then the heart of this people will turn back to their Lord. So that's good. Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they will kill me and go back to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Well, you should want them to go back to the heart of the Lord, but now he's worried he's going to die. Okay. So it gets more interesting. Therefore, the king asked advice, made 2 calves of gold. Oh, no. And said to the people, It is too much for you to go to Jerusalem. Ah, geez. Here are your gods, O Israel, which brought you up from the land of Egypt. Here we go. And he set up one in Bethel, and the other he put in Dan. Now this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one as far as Dan. Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll worship that. Look at what people worship today. You know, they worship people. You know, He made shrines on the high places and made priests from every class of people who were not the sons of Levi. So, yeah, the sons of Levi would be like, no, absolutely not. Jeroboam ordained a feast on the 15th day of the 8th month, like the feast that was in Judah, and offered sacrifices on the altar. So he did at Bethel, sacrificing to the calves that he had made. And at Bethel he installed the priests of the high places which he had made. Oh boy. So he made offerings on the altar which he had made at Bethel on the 15th day of the 8th month, in the month which he had devised in his own heart. And he ordained a feast for the children of Israel and offered sacrifices on the altar and burned incense. Dude, if you had just brought the people back to the Lord, then, people that really serve the Lord, they'd be like, if I die because I serve the Lord, then I'm going to die because I serve the Lord. That's it, that's all. Somebody wants to kill you for any reason. Doesn't matter what the reason. They're going to kill you. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's because you're the Lord, or they just think you're ugly, or they don't like you, or they love to kill. Whatever the situation. Okay? Name it. So, You have to just enjoy every life. And if you love the Lord, then you need to live for the Lord. And to heck with everybody else. I don't mean, you should want people to go to heck, but I mean, it doesn't matter what they think. If you want to serve the Lord, serve the Lord. If they go, well, you're so boring, or you're so square, or you don't drink, what's wrong with you? And I'm not saying Christians can't drink, but I'm just saying, if you don't, okay, a lot of people like to party. A lot of people like to go wild, crazy. Woohoo! Live it up like we're 1999, okay? So, it is what it is. But if you really love the Lord, serve Him, okay? It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. It's your life. So, there we go. Really, the Lord's life, because He bought and paid for you with Jesus. So anyway, now the next story we're going to read is a prophet of Judah warns Jeroboam. So here we go. The prophet's going to say, here we come. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. But the prophet's going to warn him. And if we're people of God, it's our job to warn people. They might not be like it. They might be like, you're stupid. Mind your own business. But you can be like, hey, just giving you a warning. Bad roads ahead. Okay? So, take it or leave it. You want to run over the warning sign and keep going? Keep going. But there's the sign. Okay? So, anyway. Peace. Like and subscribe. Do, do, do.